Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. I'm so excited to continue to learn about apples with you. I loved your responses from yesterday. And today we are going to read another apple book, okay? Titled Apples, and it's by Gail Gibbons. Now, Gail Gibbons is an extremely famous children's author, and she writes informational text. Now, informational text, we're gonna learn information, right? The author's purpose is gonna be to inform us, to teach us. Are we gonna learn about bats today? No. Are we going to learn about pumpkins today? No. Are we going to learn about apples today? Absolutely, right? Now, the thing with Gail Gibbons, though, that makes her different, unique from other informational text writers are, instead of photographs, she does draw pictures, okay? She uses beautiful illustrations. Most informational text writers do use photographs. They don't draw, okay? But Gail Gibbons is special. Now today, our point as scientists and readers is going to be to learn the parts of an apple. And in Google Classroom, you're gonna label the parts of an apple. Remember, a label is going to be when you tell the parts, right? So for example, hair, eyes, eyebrow, nose, mouth, right? When you tell the parts. And again, our goal as scientists today are going to be to learn the parts of an apple. All right, all set? You bet. Okay, let's see if we can get in here. An apple is a fruit. It grows on an apple tree. Apple trees grow in more parts of the world than any other fruit tree. They have been in existence for about 2 million years. Wow, I didn't know that. Okay, that is definitely a piece of information I just learned from reading this text. I did not know that apples have been around for 2 million years. That is a long, long, long time. The first American colonists brought apple seeds and seedlings with them from England. And a seedling is a very young, small tree, okay? And we learned that in the book yesterday. Again, apples were not here originally in the United States, okay? They're not native to the United States. The English colonists brought them over from England. As the colonists moved westward, they brought apple seeds and seedlings with them. Some settlers found that Native American Indians had already brought apple seeds west and had apple trees growing near their villages. Okay, and then here we see the settlers, okay? Some people call them the Pilgrims, and then we see the Native Americans. You might remember that from Thanksgiving. Oh, here he is. Here's our friend again. What's his name? If you said Johnny Appleseed, give yourself a pat on the back, say, I did a great job. Many times during the early 1800s, John Chapman traveled through the wilderness of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Indiana, planting apple seeds. Also, he gave seeds and seedlings to the settlers there. He became known as Johnny Appleseed. Okay, and Pennsylvania is just one state above us, so not bad, right? Pretty cool. Some apples are grown at home, but most are grown commercially. Okay, and here we see all of the orchards. Okay, all of the apple farms. Each year, about 250 million bushels of apples are grown in the United States, and about 28 million bushels are grown in Canada. Pretty cool. All right, now remember, scientists, the next page is where we're gonna really learn our information. Our goal today is the parts of an apple. All right. An apple is a firm, crispy, fleshy fruit with a hard center called a core, okay? And we actually have a core too, that's like our stomach. And if you take your hands and you push into your stomach a little bit, you should feel some muscles there, right? We kind of call them abs, but that is our core. So an apple has a core. The core is the middle hard part of the apple, okay? The core has 5 seed chambers. So again, we're gonna have the apple, okay? The outside of the apple. We're gonna have the core. Think about your core, where your where your abs are, okay? The hard part, and then you're going to have the seeds. So far, we have the core and the seeds, okay? We also have the skin, okay? The skin is going to be the colored part, okay? Again, the skin also is kind of like a coat for us, okay? It keeps the apple protected, okay? And the skin can be green, it could be yellow, it can be red, it could be a pinkish color, okay? So again, core, seeds, skin, okay? We also have the stem, which is the brown part sticking out, right? And that's where, if you're grabbing it from the apple tree, you're gonna grab it down with the stem. And then we have the leaf, okay? And then the last part is called the flesh. Can everyone say flesh? Flesh is the part that you eat, okay? It's gonna be that white part that you eat. So again, let's go over the parts one more time. We have the skin, stem, leaf, core, right? That inside part. We have the seeds, and then the white part that we eat is called the flesh. Good job, guys. In the springtime, flowers called apple blossoms begin to bloom on apple trees. Each blossom has to be pollinated in order for an apple to grow. The blossoms are usually pollinated by insects or the wind, okay? And so we see that, and this is gonna be tomorrow's lesson, so pay attention, you might know a little bit more, okay? We're gonna see that it's gonna start as a blossom, a pretty pink flower, and the bees are gonna pollinate it. After a while, the blossoms begin to die and apples start to grow. Throughout the warm summer, the little apples grow bigger and bigger. And remember yesterday, we talked about it and we could see it right here. What color are the apples? They are green, absolutely. So an apple is always gonna start out green, no matter what color it is. During the late summer or early fall, the apples ripen, okay? And that's gonna be when they change color to either red, a darker green, okay? Or yellow. When the apples are loaded with ripe apples, when the trees are loaded with ripe apples, it's harvest time. Workers pick the apples by hand. Now, where do you guys think that they're bringing the apples to? You got it, the store. Some are shipped to stores, some are used to make apple juice, apple cider, apple jelly, apple sauce, and lots of other apple products, okay? And if you go to the food store right now, you're gonna see there are apple products everywhere. My favorite food store, Trader Joe's, I was just there this weekend and I saw tons of apple juice and cider and all that, but I saw apple cider donuts. I saw apple cider cookies. I saw apple cider jelly, okay? Some are sold in baskets at roadside stands. During the fall, it is fun to go apple picking. And maybe your parents will bring you apple picking, okay? Because it's outside and it's a safe activity right now. Also, there are country fairs. Awards are given to the best looking apple, the best tasting apple pies, and the most delicious apple sauce. There's apple cider too, okay? And sometimes out east, they do this, like big apple festivals. We usually have one in school. We'll see this year if we can pull one off, okay? I can't make any promises, but again, we're gonna celebrate all things apples. Okay, on to Halloween a little bit. And now you might not celebrate Halloween, and that is okay. During Halloween, there are caramel apples and candy apples, some bob for apples. And then when the winter arrives, the apple tree branches become bare. Bare, if we look at the picture, means nothing on them, okay? The trees will become dormant until next spring. And dormant basically is the same thing as hibernating, okay? It means that the apple tree is alive, but it is not growing. It basically stops growing and almost goes to sleep for the winter, when the trees will produce a new crop of apples. Apples have many tastes, ranging from sweet to tart. Okay, and then we see a whole bunch of different types of apples here. And an apple tree will not grow until it's about 5 to 8 years. Wow, that is something really awesome. I'm gonna put that in my schema. Okay, then an apple tree will not grow for 5 to 8 years. Each spring, the tree branches are trimmed. This is called pruning. Most apple trees grow to be about 20 feet tall. The soil around the trees should be fertilized. The pruning and fertilizers helps produce lots of good apples. And then we have an apple, okay, pie. You can make your own apple pie. And then there's also an apple cider press where you put the apples in and you press it and then the juice will come out. Okay, there are thousands of varieties of kinds of apples. Okay, and we know some of them like Golden Delicious and Pink Lady. They are nutritious and delicious. And okay, so again, really quick, I'm gonna go back to the page with the parts of the apple because that was our purpose for reading today. Okay, what do we have here? You call that skin, you got it. What do we have here? I know I could hear you screaming, leaf. What do we have here? The brown part. I hear you, stem. Okay, the inside, the hard part. I heard you, core. What's inside the core? I heard you, seeds. And then what is that white flesh? Oh, I gave it away. What is that white part that you eat? If you said flesh, absolutely. Good job, everyone. I can't wait to see your responses in Google Classroom. I'll see you tomorrow for more apple learning. Bye, guys.